Hello, and welcome all to episode 68 of the Spooky Spooky Horror Show podcast. I am your host, Sean, joined again by Anthony. As a reminder, this season's movies list was chosen solely based on the box art. We're going to be judging whether the film is as good or bad as the box art, as well as whether or not we even like the film. Today, we're going to be talking about 2016's Lost Creek. As a reminder, if you'd like to support us on YouTube, you can like, subscribe, leave a comment. All of that helps us with the algorithm and engagement. You can also follow us and rate us on any and all podcast services, which helps with visibility. Links are in the description.
Yeah.
With that out of the way, Anthony, 2 days before Christmas, how has your week been?
Yes. It's slow. It's Christmas season. It's slow everywhere. That's pretty much it. Wife took a spill, sprained her ankle, was on crutches for several days. We got snow up here. Today it was -4.
It was like 76 today.
-4. Yeah, I bet. You fucking asshole.
I was outside in shorts and a tank top playing with the dogs, and you moved to a place where you're frozen all the time.
Oh yeah, fucking freezing my
God.
ass off today.
That's hilarious.
It sucked.
Yeah, I've been trying to, I got the new, which it's probably visible on stream, the new Blu-ray drive reader thing, so I can continue backing up all the DVDs and everything. So with this, I can read 4K video files. So I've been going through and doing all that this week while still trying to get through writing and fixing the script for this one, because spoiler alert, we hate this fucking film. This film is fucking awful.
I don't understand this film.
It's just I don't know, and we'll get into it like a little bit later, but yeah. So it's been between like
100% a PG movie.
Yeah, like it's been between backing up like the UHD Blu-rays, which take fucking forever to do because they're so so big. But it's like now I get like 4K HDR and all that stuff, so films look better. And then wrapping shit up for Christmas, and then we have and then the kiddo's birthday is coming up after that, and then just I've been trying to relax more, because the wife keeps saying like she never sees me playing games anymore, and it's mainly because if I'm at the computer, I'm
I have
either
a lot of shit to do. Yeah.
I'm either editing something, watching something to do a podcast on, or I'm backing up like DVDs and shit, which, like, for context, I think I just did Solo, the Solo 4K UHD disc to rip my disc to put onto my media server. It was an hour and a half to rip it onto my computer. Then it took about 45 minutes to copy it over onto an external hard drive, to then move it over to my media server PC, where that took another half hour to put it into its proper folder and so it's like all of that takes time. So while it's like doing all that shit on the back end, I can't have like a game up and be playing. So I've pretty much solely reserved games for at night in bed while I'm on like my Steam Deck and everything. It's like the wife is
so versatile.
Yeah, the wife is passed out, so I just sit there and I go on and I play. I've been playing Indiana Jones and the Great Circle on the Steam Deck.
Heard it's really good
through Game Pass, and yeah, I really like the game. Troy Baker did a fantastic job as Indiana Jones. It's believable. I would, if they decided to do young Indiana in movies again, I would probably say,
as long as it's not Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, and it's like I didn't even hate Shia LaBeouf's character. I get what it was, like what the time period was.
Yeah,
that's like being mad at Biff and crew in Back to the Future for acting like those personalities, when that's just what the personalities were of that time. Like, Shia LaBeouf was supposed to be like a greaser, because you can't say Shia LaBeouf is a bad actor. We've seen him in tons of things. He's a phenomenal actor.
No. He was playing the character.
So,
he was playing it to the character.
The biggest problem with the newer movies is it's a 90-year-old man swinging around on a fucking like that's stupid.
Yeah,
like he's not moving around.
I don't
like that.
feel the movie is getting as good. Yeah, as good as we just got done Temple of Doom the other night.
But Troy Baker is a handsome man. He could be a rugged-looking man. He can definitely do an Indiana Jones voice. I can see him being a new live-action Indiana Jones where, you know, they're continuing it because there's tons of fucking stuff. If they just want to do video games, I'm all for it. It's like the franchise
Tell the story
I love
through the
most.
gaming.
Yeah, but yeah, that's about it. But with all the fun stuff out of the way, we talked for like 10 to like 15 minutes about games and gaming consoles. That's the most fun you're gonna fucking have because it's all gonna start going downhill.
Oh, it goes all downhill.
Production facts, because it does have some. Lost Creek was shot on location in Newark, Delaware, which is also the director's childhood hometown. The film features a cast of child actors including Oliver Stockman. I think her name is Bryna. B-R-Y-N-N-A. I think that's Bryna, maybe? Bartu. And Henry Stockman. Wait, were they brothers?
Maybe.
Were Oliver and Henry brothers? I never looked into it because I hate this movie.
You would think that they would probably have mentioned that.
If they were in fact brothers, they didn't even seem like they remotely knew each other or liked each other in every single fucking performance. So I don't know, man. This was their debut performances, and it also starred Lisa Carusi and Matthew.
Oh,
Lovely.
Is that the mom? Is that the mom?
That's the mom, who's also
that has a
fucking
weird
terrible.
fucking accent that goes back and forth from a weird accent that I don't understand what it is.
The wife was saying that it sounds like she's from New Jersey, and she's trying to hide the accent because there's certain ways that she says things that it's just immediately New Jersey. So we're assuming that's where she's from. The movie's soundtrack features original music by Evan Chapman of Square Peg Round Hole and Murder by Death. So that's real bands.
I don't remember any of the fucking music in this. I think because the movie sucked, I don't remember the music.
Yeah.
It doesn't bode well for the bands.
Yeah, we're going to get into that in a minute. Based on the box art, what were you expecting from the movie?
Something like Bad Candy. That's what I thought. I thought it had a Halloween theme to it. I mean, it does have a Halloween theme to it. It happens on a Halloween. But it's not. There's nothing. I didn't know that it was PG. I actually found out today watching it that it was PG. I was like, this is why this fucking thing sucks.
In all your anger.
It has.
But
I was like, it's fucking PG, no less, because I don't watch PG.
You can't even say that. But you can't even say that because Hocus Pocus is a PG film.
But I watch
family
films, and family films are PG. Now, that's different, though. See, PG, I expect that from a Disney Hocus Pocus. When I look at something that says Lost Creek, and you have this fucking ominous, like, you know, pumpkin head dude on the front of it, and that's it, I'm expecting there to be something of substance in the inside of that movie. There's nothing.
Yeah. No,
it's about as hollow as it can get.
I really liked the box art. The box art for this looked fucking amazing. So, like you, I was expecting something more.
Kind of cool.
Like that just the thumbnail alone gives like this nostalgic aesthetic, and it feels foreboding. And then you watch it, and it's just like, I can't.
Dog shit.
I can't
do
this.
Shit. Yeah.
One of the best things...
I couldn't understand the majority of it. And,
one of the best... Probably... You know what? No, not probably one of the best. The best feature and, like, thing of this film is how it looks. It looks fantastic.
Everything else, way it looks.
Everything else about it looks like dog shit.
My screens, it was darkish for me, but that could have just been my aesthetic.
Yeah, but yeah, no, like... The acting was awful. The script was awful. The sound effects were awful. Every time they walked through leaves, it was like knives digging into my ear. Every time.
The sound team was a little too on point or something.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
Oh, God.
The opening scene for this is just pure fucking vomit. The sound it makes, it has him mixing like a plaster mix, and it's all intensified, so just picture you that gooey
really
sound.
Want to.
really loud in your ear.
Because the first note I have for this is the film opens with the grossest sound I've ever heard. It's so
it was mortifying, and I'm not, and we had the discussion before. I'm not the person that has sound issues most of the time. I have a texture issue. He has bad sound issues. I can't eat or, I can't do that on because he freaks him out. This one, I was like, oh no,
it's not so much that
what is this?
It's not so much that it freaks me out. It's just it's a gross sound. It's like,
it is. I'm not gonna deny
so
that.
it's like other people end up being like super like I have to like just stop and walk away type stuff. It's just, for me, it's a gross sound, and it's like you go from gross sounds in this to like ear-piercingly loud sounds, but then some of their dialogue is just way too low, but then they step in a leaf and then it's way too fucking loud. It's like, what is going on in this movie? So we're gonna try to be nice because they are children.
Oh, I don't blame the children. You can't blame the little ones for this one.
Yeah,
someone should have told these little ones to just stay away from this script, because I think the movie was what did them in, and maybe it was because they were young, but it did none of them any justice in this movie. I'm sorry, no justice whatsoever. The teacher and then the mom were just the worst actors.
You would think having adults in it would make it a little bit better, and I feel like it actively made it worse.
Like, I really was counting on those two adults, and the scenes that they were in, I was like, come on, you're missing marks here. I don't really understand why the teacher seemed so dumb, though it wasn't trying to relay that.
Yeah,
it just seemed like he was so like, didn't know. I don't know. It's definitely not the time I'm not going to get back in my life.
Nope. You know what? Let's just jump right into plot. As I said before, the film opens with some of the grossest sounds I have ever heard while a kid is sitting in the dark crafting what I'm assuming is the pumpkin mask that we see on the movie poster. For some reason, I was having trouble saying pumpkin. I was like mashing the whole thing together.
See, we're past the holiday. You're already getting all
the kid, his name is Peter. He leaves his house to go walk around and explore the new neighborhood, and eventually makes his way into the woods, and he finds the Lost Creek. So I don't know why they call it Lost Creek, because I don't know if the town is called Lost Creek.
It's Lost Creek Woods is what if I'm not mistaken, when like later on, because of subtitles, I think it says that, but the area is Lost Creek.
Okay, so I'll say this now at the beginning. So it took me almost a month to watch this film. So I started watching it with high hopes that something good was going to happen, and then 45 minutes in, I had to turn it off because I realized I wasn't paying attention. So
you could drift on this movie.
So because that happened, I was like, fuck, all right, I'm gonna have to start it over again and watch because I have to take notes. That didn't happen for like 4 or 5 days. Because every time I was like, fuck, I gotta sit down to do this. I was like, I can go do something else. I can go cut down some more like tree limbs in the backyard and stuff. Like I can do that.
It's not going anywhere. It's all right.
And then I would go and be like, all right, let me start it again. So I started again. I knew the stuff that was happening because it was some stuff I remembered. So I'm sitting there taking my notes, and then 45 minutes hits, and I'm just like, I'll finish this tomorrow. And I stop again. Another couple of days goes by. And then my wife starts asking me, hey, did you finish that movie? Because it looked pretty bad. I was like, no, I still have like 50 minutes left of it. She's like, you didn't, I thought you got halfway through it the first time. I was like, yeah, the second time I just restarted it. She's like, there's no way it could be that bad. So I was like, okay.
Yes.
Let's watch it at dinner. Maybe with her
not
there.
During dinner.
Maybe with her there, we can actually like push through and finish it. 45 minutes in, she turns to me and she goes, I'm out. I can't do this.
Don't want to watch it anymore.
So now this is 3 times I've started watching this film, and 3 times at the 45-minute mark, we're like, I'm done, and walking away.
You know what I honestly think? That's when I stopped to see how much I had left.
Yes.
And I was like, there's more to this shit? I did! That's... Holy shit!
The 45-minute mark.
I did! And I said it to you. I was like, bro, I don't think I could do this no more. I'm going to play video games. I'll finish tomorrow. And you asked me how much I had left. I said, I'm at 45. How much is left? You're like, you have like another like half hour, 45. I'm like, fuck.
Yep.
That's funny.
And I told you at that 45-minute mark, you're going to be like, fuck, I could literally be doing anything else.
Anything else. I was getting tired. I was like, I don't know if I said it. Just like, I'm tired, dude. I just want to play video games, man. I'm done. I ended up watching it all in one sitting, though. Because I was like, dude, I only got a half an hour. I can't pay attention to it anyways.
Yeah. No. So, what I did was I was like, you know what? I'll finish watching it. Let me just set up the treadmill. I got the treadmill going. I raised the standing desk. I had it playing through my speakers, but I have I bought new headphones that don't actually
not a headphone wearing movie.
No. I was listening to music.
Okay.
So I have new headphones. Like people can see on stream, these are actually in-ear monitors and everything. They go inside your ear.
We have the same. Yeah.
I got these wireless headphones that sit over the ear the same way, but they don't actually go into the ear. They're like kind of like open back headphones, so you could hear everything that's going on around you, but you still have like a cone of music playing in your ear.
Yeah.
So I put on my music just with one headphone in so that I could hear music, and I'm just watching the film as I run on the treadmill. That's how I managed to get through it. That was halfway through week 3 of me initially starting the film. That I had to listen to music
just to get through it.
Just to get through the movie. So it's that bad. And a bunch of the notes that I have in here, people, I'm not even joking, are legitimate. Now, I had this written long before Anthony even turned the film on. Okay.
I only watched it like a couple of days ago.
The notes that I have in the podcast notes, he has been messaging me, and then once we got on a call, telling me all the same fucking complaints that I fucking have.
Dude, because it doesn't make
all
any
the
sense.
fucking same.
It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Dude, I have legitimately ruined movie watching for you.
I can't watch shit no more, dude. Whether it's a new movie, an old movie, all I hear is my wife chuckling on the side of me, like doing like a smirky little laugh, like and I'm like, fuck, I can't enjoy anything in life anymore. I'm like, dude.
No.
Like the red one, I think it's the red one, or with The Rock and a bunch of other people.
Oh
yeah,
dog
shit movie.
Oh yeah,
dog shit fucking movie. But I was like, what the fuck? I couldn't have enjoyed this movie for what it was?
No. There was no way to enjoy that movie even for what it was, because The Rock is such a pompous asshole that he's sitting there in interviews saying that he sat down in the middle seat and watched Oppenheimer, and he was like, we could use this technology for Red 1. What the fuck are you talking about? Santa has been kidnapped. It's a fucking family movie. Have fun. And it's just like, oh, we can use the Oppenheimer technology. Like, shut the fuck up.
Why?
This is why all your movies are fucking bombing now. You are sniffing your own farts entirely too fucking much.
Not a good one. Yeah. Well, we also like to recycle a lot of shit nowadays.
Yeah. It's like, come on, we had buff Santa, but then The Rock had to fucking ruin it. However, David Harbour's Santa movie, what is it, like Naughty List or something like that? I don't know. He seems like a drunk.
David who?
David Harbour, the guy from Stranger Things, the sheriff. He's also
No. Violent Night.
Violent Night, yeah.
Only fucking mint.
It's been greenlit for a Violent Night 2.
Fuck yes.
So,
dude, he rocked that movie.
And then I think
and Terrifier has rights to fucking Silent Night, Deadly Night, and they're gonna make a new remake with art, I think, for Silent Night.
But
good, it's gonna be fucking amazing.
I possibly said it in the last episode, but David Howard Thornton, Art the Clown, he is playing essentially Steamboat Willie in the Steamboat Willie horror movie that's coming out. That was filmed.
Not to get off a movie topic here, but have you seen Mousetrap?
No.
Don't.
Okay. But yeah, he's gonna be basically the killer Steamboat Willie in the Mickey Mouse horror movie.
Okay.
That was filmed on the Staten Island ferry that's owned by Pete Davidson and Josh, what's his name? Colin Jost.
Because I don't know who that guy is, but okay.
He's the guy on Weekend Update with Michael Che.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I don't know.
they own a decommissioned Staten Island ferry, and it's been restored,
Jesus.
and a horror
Probably
movie
smells
was
like
filmed
pure
on it.
piss.
I know. Piss and vomit. Oh god, now I gotta figure out where we were because we were talking about good stuff instead of this movie. Okay, yeah, so he made it to the creek. While hanging out alone, throwing rocks in the creek, a creepy girl sneaks up on him and warns him not to get too close to the water. This is some of the worst child acting I have ever seen in my fucking life by a wide margin. By a wide margin.
Both of our kids can go into a movie with better acting than this.
They go back and forth with really cringy dialogue, playfully debating who the creek belongs to, dueling, frolicking around the woods, playing with bugs and stuff. They talked about why Peter moved to the town, and he eventually tells her that it's no. I don't think he tells her why. I think he just says something about like the dad.
That he moved there because of that. Then he got sad, and then she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry."
It was fucking stupid. But then he ends up telling her like, "Hey, I gotta head home," and they make plans to meet up the next day. Here's where the movie is giving away way too much. Unless you are
This is where you knew 100% exactly what's going on.
The only way you don't realize what's happening is if you're a fucking moron.
Or you haven't seen The Sixth Sense.
Peter tells Maggie to meet him at his house, and she freaks out and says to just meet back at the creek. So immediately at this point, she's either a ghost that can't leave the creek, she's homeless and has no parents, or she isn't homeless, but her home life is terrible and it's embarrassing and she doesn't want to bring anyone to the house.
And she's living in the
Halloween
creek.
movie. She's a ghost. We now officially know she is a ghost, and they had to do is make her go like, oh, no, let's just meet here. It's like, what the fuck? Come on, man.
It was literally the easiest thing you could have put 2 and 2 together of.
I'm assuming the second Anthony got to this is when he messaged me like, of course she's a ghost. Like,
oh yeah. Because I said to the wife, I was like, "You mean to tell me you've got a Sixth Sense this movie? How many movies do you want to have in this fucking thing?" I was like, "Okay, so with Sixth Sense in this real quick." And then she goes, "Well, it has to be a ghost." I'm like, "Well, why?" She's like, "Well, ghosts can't cross water, like certain cultures and stuff." I was like, "Really? I thought that was like an assault thing." She's like, "No, ghosts can't cross the water barrier or something." And boom, she finishes, "Oh, well, I can't leave this area." And I was like, "See, look at that.
Yeah.
The fuck? Yep. It gets worse. It gets
so much worse.
Continue.
On his way home through the woods, he hears something walking through the brush near him, but doesn't see anything,
Loudly.
and he just keeps walking home.
So loud.
Walking through the leaves? Yeah.
Yeah.
At home, he's spacing out, procrastinating about eating his vegetables.
Turning them upside down.
Yeah. So far, child acting is painfully awful. But there's a glimmer of hope, because we're finally interacting with an adult. The mother is somehow even fucking worse.
Like, she goes back and forth from a regular all-American accent to like we thought Irish. I don't know what the fuck she was going back and forth for, but it kept peeking through, and I was like, "Are they trying to do that?"
I had to look up to see if she was like foreign. Like if she was like British or something and like trying to hide
either
it or
she
something.
was trying to do an American accent and sucked, or someone that was doing trying to hide their accent and it wasn't working.
And I have in specific parts written her exact dialogue, and I'm gonna do a verbatim rereading doing her acting technique. Besides her terrible accent and poor line delivery, what parent talks to their kid like this? It's not just her throwing all of her fucking baggage on her kid, because of all of her terrible fucking life choices, but she's shitting all over this kid's father too. We don't have any information,
any idea what happened,
on why she divorced her husband up to this point.
And they put it together like he died. They never made it sound like it was like a breakdown of the relationship.
Yeah.
No, he didn't.
So we don't know why she divorced him, left him, whatever. That's the director's fault. I won't blame the actress for it. That's the director and the writer's fault, which I'm pretty sure he did both.
I would figure the script, the screenwriter.
Well, I think he did both. I think he wrote and directed it. But we aren't just gonna like blanket go along with, well, he was a piece of shit. You have to tell us or show us why he's a piece of shit. Because it's not like you said, like,
Or
oh,
not
well,
vested.
maybe he died. But she's talking about him like he's a fucking piece of shit. Did he have a heart attack while he was knee deep inside cock deep inside the babysitter? Like, what is the reason for such animosity for this fucking?
And
this,
that they
this
had
guy?
a
like,
move.
we don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. Was he abusive? Like, why did you have to move?
Yeah, you moved and you bought your parent your childhood home from your parents, and it's like, this is all that we could do. My parents were divorced, and my mother never spoke badly about my father. Not because he didn't have issues, because he had fucking issues. Because he was my father, and the issues that were there were between him and her. It had nothing to do with us. It had to do with them. So they never spoke poorly about each other. Meanwhile, this bitch is sitting here and saying verbatim,
just going,
you have to be okay with this move because we had to get away from your bleeping dad. She legitimately says bleeping. What the fuck is this?
And I think he goes, don't say bleeping, Mom.
Yeah. It's like, she says, your bleeping dad. He's like, don't say bleeping. She's like, I didn't curse. What is this? Who talks
That's
like
better
this?
acting.
Nobody fucking
That's
talks like
better
this.
acting.
It's fucking weird. But up to this point, now this is only like 10 minutes into the film. And keep in mind, we both stopped watching this at 45 minutes. This is 10 minutes in, and this is what we have. Well, we got to 45, and then you stopped.
Yeah.
And you stopped for a couple of days.
Then I started again.
Yeah.
No, I finished that whole that because you actually do. Well, did you finish? I'm like, yeah.
You finished it the next day?
That night.
Oh, okay.
No, I watched it again the next day. And I tried to watch it at lunch today, and I fell fucking asleep. It was boring as shit. It took 11 minutes to fall asleep on that motherfucker. Went to watch on 12 by 12, 10. I was like, oh, what time is it? I was out.
That's
out.
awful.
Woke up to my alarm.
But yeah, so far for the dad, that's all we get. So after that, she asks him to bring cups down to the basement. And now I'm sitting here like, why the fuck are you putting cups in the basement?
Cups in the basement?
They go in the kitchen. So now it's like, if it's like old cups from like your parents, throw them the fuck out. Why are you storing old nasty cups? It's weird. But he does as his mother asks. He brings the cups downstairs and then gets scared and runs right the fuck back upstairs. Later that night, Peter has a nightmare where he's woken up by the sounds of, I'm assuming this is supposed to be his father, pulling out to him. He walks through the door and ends up back in the woods. Scared, he begins to run, and he gets his foot all tangled, and while trying to get loose, a hand begins to reach out for his face. He spots someone else in the woods wearing a skull mask before being woken up by his mother. She asks if he was sleepwalking and asks when that started up again. I don't know. Maybe when you moved and uprooted his entire life because you couldn't get your shit together, and you're a terrible
it's a
parent.
Traumatic experience.
You're a terrible parent, and you're putting all that stress on your
kid.
We'll say 10 or 11-year-old child. Like, maybe that's why he's like possibly sleepwalking again and having nightmares. You know, possibly. I'm not a child psychologist, but one would say
they're gonna act out. Yeah, they're gonna act out in certain ways.
Here we meet Anthony's favorite person. Next day at school, we meet Peter's best friend Bill. This kid is fucking annoying too.
This kid is, oh my god. I don't mean to speak bad about kids, but this kid's fucking acting. Let me tell you.
We're
a
introduced
White Cloth
to him.
had a better idea. Like, he is a fucking...
Yeah. Well, we're introduced to him. Peter is having a conversation with him. And Bill is in his own... I'd date a Pop-Tart. I kind of like Eggos. But, like, what is this conversation? What is fucking going on? Do kids sit there talking about dating Pop-Tarts?
I don't know. Maybe they're trying to depict him as an ADHD kid, because I would date no Pop-Tarts when I was that kid. But that's the weirdest shit I have ever fucking seen. And this kid's lines, the shit they made him say for the lines, I was like, why the fuck is this even something he would say?
Then we find out that they have a substitute teacher. For some reason, Peter just can't let it go that that his regular teacher may be out sick. We're gonna skip a lot of the shit.
Who cares?
I know.
Yeah, we're gonna scheme through this.
But you see, Peter seems like the type of kid that's like, you forgot to give us homework. He seems like that kid.
Oh, definitely.
Like, he's definitely a kid that's gonna get beat up a lot. But there's a lot of shit that happens within like school, and we're gonna skip all of it because there is not a single fucking child actor in this entire thing that is good. it's
And it doesn't
actively
help anything.
makes you angry how bad it is. Yeah, and yeah, it's all they do is talk about like people
Doesn't go
being
to
missing
anything in
and
it.
shit. It's so fucking dumb. Hey Anthony,
Yeah.
why is Peter always smiling?
Peter shouldn't be smiling. He has weird teeth.
Have you noticed? Anytime there's a scene with Peter, it instead of just like walking and being like normal, he's just like
He smiles. Maybe the child actor was just like really fucking nervous.
yeah.
And it was like kid smiling.
It looked as if he had like a stage mom like right behind the camera going smile. Yeah, because he'll sit there and he'll be like, "Oh, I know, Bill." It's like, what is happening right now?
Really infatuated with the people he's talking to.
It's just while walking home, Bill and Peter rag on each other and plan their like trick-or-treating route and stuff. Bill's excited because now that Peter's here, they can get so much more candy. But later,
Which
while
doesn't
on
make
the
any
road,
sense.
yeah, later on the road, they talk about how last year teenagers chased them and tried to steal their candy, and it really scared the both of them. So I'm confused. If they're best friends,
Wait, I'm gonna point out something. In the other scene, he scares him with a mask. The friend says, "Every year." What do you mean every year? You just fucking moved there.
yeah, I don't know.
You just moved there. Nobody explains where the friend comes from. It makes it sound like he was someone that lived in the previous spot and then their family moved there and met him again. Then it makes it sound like this kid's been there the whole fucking life and he knows more than what he would know. So which one is it?
Dude, I don't fucking know. Because, like you said, they've been they say that he says that they're best. They say that they're best friends.
Yes,
and
that they've
have
known
been
each other for like a long
for
time.
years. And they went trick-or-treating last year. What makes this year different?
Any different?
So it's like, granted, one of my best friends back in New York lived in the Bronx. He lived in like the tail ass end of the Bronx, right? And as like a 13-year-old, I would travel from Staten Island to the Bronx every weekend. I'd go up there every weekend, take the at one point it was the train to the ferry. Then when I moved to an area that didn't really have access to the Staten Island train, I took the bus to the ferry, and then the ferry over to Manhattan. I hopped on the, I think it was it the Bowling Green one? I don't remember if it was the Bowling Green one, Bowling Green station, or if it was the one right outside the ferry. But it might have been the one directly outside the ferry. I don't remember what number it is, but it would take me all the way to like the very last stop in the Bronx, because that's where he lived. And I'd hang out there Friday, Saturday, and then halfway through Sunday, I'd fucking come all the way home. So it's like, I can see like, okay, maybe he lived in a different area, but somehow they were possibly in the same school and stuff, and now it's just like they moved into the same thing. But nothing is fucking explained, because you can't say, oh, like you said, the fucking, I scare you every year with this mask, ha 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 ha, and then be like, oh,
make sense.
This year, we're gonna have the perfect route because you live here now. What does it matter if he lived there? Every year, you guys do trick-or-treating together. So,
yeah,
it doesn't make sense, and it just, we're gonna calm down, we're gonna recenter. On his block, Peter spots the old man's chair flipped over and his newspaper sprawled all across his lawn. This is the old man he saw as he was leaving his house to go hang out in the creek the first time. Don't worry, he doesn't care that much since he still heads straight to Lost Creek looking for Maggie. Once again, she pops up and scares him and comments that she's always there. Yeah, because you're a ghost. They once again go frolicking in a field, spinning around, looking up at the sky and shit. It's really fucking weird. Meanwhile, Peter's mom is putting boxes away and finds a photo album and begins to reminisce about the good old days that were like 2 years ago when Peter was a little younger.
I don't know what it has to do with the movie.
What is this director trying to do? I'm very confused.
It's too much going on.
Yeah. It's like, either
are we supposed to be getting into the whole family trauma, or are we supposed to be getting onto this whole entire ghost in the creek thing?
I don't fucking know. I don't know. Because it's like, it looks like it's like 2 years ago, and I have a kid, you have a kid. It's really hard for me to discern how old kids are.
Yeah.
And it's like, they're kids until they're teenagers, so I don't know what age that is until they hit like 13. And it's hard. It's even harder for me because like, my kid's about to be 13, and he's like 5'7". So,
Yeah, he's tall.
so it's like
Oh, yeah.
whenever we go to like birthday parties of kids his own age, he's so much taller than everyone else that like he doesn't look the same fucking age. So it's like I don't know. While looking at these photos, her face goes from like sad to like eventually sad to angry to like looking out the window longingly. I fucking hate this movie. But back at the creek, Peter and Maggie talk about past Halloween costumes and what they're wearing this year. Peter says they could cross the creek, and she freaks out at him, telling him to never cross the creek. While throwing rocks into the creek, he tells her about the creepy dream he had about the creek, and she makes him promise not to cross the creek.
Never to go across the creek.
They continue to play until the sunset, and while walking home, Peter spots that his neighbor still hasn't fixed his chair or picked up the papers, so he decides to walk into a stranger's house.
Yeah.
He never once, in the beginning when he walked, "Hey, Mr. Peterson," like he never did that. Like that wasn't a thing that he did, you know? So why are you walking into this motherfucker's house? Like that's how you get shot. Like, just don't do that.
Especially where you're at.
Inside, he finds that they are gone, and food is spilled all over the floor. He rushes back to his house and says, Mom, I have to tell you." And then that's it. Mom, I have to tell you. That's the best take you could get. That's the best line you could have written. He tells her that the neighbors are gone, and now we get more Oscar-winning acting from the mom, with lines like, "Honey, do I know?" And "It takes a lot to keep this little ship afloat, bub." Because she's annoyed.
Yeah, that was a dumbass fucking,
She's annoyed that the gas and heating bill are due this month.
But you pay it regularly, like clockwork.
Yeah. Like it's you know that it's due. Like it's not like suddenly it
Same
changes.
thing with water and trash. It comes at the same time every month, same fucking due date.
Yeah, because I'm sitting here, it's like I don't have gas, I have all electric.
Yeah.
And it's like that bill comes every month. Every single month.
Yeah.
Like clockwork. They expect their money. So it's like her being like, "Oh, look at all these bills. I didn't know this was due." It's like, fuck, come on, man. Just people, please, I'm begging you. Just spend a little bit more time working on your script. Read your script. Read it out loud so that when your dialogue sounds like complete and utter dog shit, you could be like, "Oh, that doesn't sound like how a person talks."
Somebody funded and greenlit this project, though.
I really hope that this was no more than like a $5,000 movie, because if more money was spent
probably
on
done it. The costumes might have been the bulk of it.
The next day, Peter's just walking around the empty-ass school, and I don't really know what this scene is supposed to be conveying. Is the school empty because people are disappearing? Because nobody's bringing that up. But nobody's bringing it up.
They don't bring up anything in this fucking movie.
Because when they're back inside of the school, like when he's back inside the classroom, all the kids are there.
Yeah, but inside the hallways and everywhere else isn't.
Yeah, but like maybe he was out on like to take a piss or like we're not given a qualifier like the school bell ringing and then him walking through the halls and like no kids coming out, you know, because like I said, when he goes into his classroom, all the kids are there. It's not like they're now taking a head count again and it's like, oh, this person's not here, this person's not here. I think we're supposed to assume that kids are being taken, but like we're not being shown any of that information, which is a big fucking problem.
Even when the parents go away.
Also, this is now 40 minutes into the film.
Oh, fuck my life.
Yeah. This so far seems like that's the big mystery, and we're constantly getting sidetracked by shit that just doesn't
other parts,
matter.
Yeah, like other fucking weird shit. Like it feels like they were just added in.
So Peter and Bill are walking home from school, but split up after some banter, and Pete goes to meet up with Maggie. They walk through the woods and across some train tracks. Nothing happens during all this, and there's really no need for any of these scenes. Why is Peter not bringing his best friend Bill to meet his new friend Maggie? That seems weird.
He asked Bill too, and he was reluctant.
Yeah, and it's never explained why. That night, Peter sleepwalks through the door and ends up in the woods. He's about to be embraced by dark hands in the woods when Maggie wakes him up and leads him away from the monsters. This is the point...
which you could honestly still think he might be still sleeping.
This is when I was like, I'm done, and turned it off. So 3 weeks later, we're at this point. We're at Bill's house. He's getting ready for bed, but make sure to lock up his singular toy in his closet, just in case it comes to life. He wakes up to the sound of the door opening and grabs a flashlight to look around. Looking around, he doesn't spot anything unusual, except that the interior door to the closet that was shut is now open. Eventually, he spots the creepy-ass toy and hides under his cover. The toy gets closer, and then he bolts into the bathroom where he locks himself inside. But, you know that's not going to stop a possessed toy, so it scratches at the door, and he climbs out the window. To quickly get back to Peter's house, he tells Maggie they need to cross the creek. She tells him again that she can't and reveals that she's dead and a ghost. No fucking shit.
You're not a ghost. How could this be?
She tells him to look at her. Like, really look at her.
Really look at her.
And when she does...
the makeup change doesn't go that much.
Yeah. And then what he does, he looks at her long and hard, and she begins to get wet.
And there was some face makeup.
No. We're gonna take that again. She begins to appear like she's being dragged out of a creek. I didn't like...
Oh, the drag out of the creek thing, yes, is very important.
I didn't like the verbiage. She told him to look at her, and
she got
when
wet.
he does, she got wet.
Nope, we're not gonna play those games. Those games aren't being played at this house.
Nope. She tells him how she died and that the monster is real. Peter tells her his father used to tell him all these great bedtime stories and used all these great voices, and that he didn't know dads could be liars. But he also doesn't know what he would do if his dad died. So his father isn't dead.
Yes.
But he's calling his dad a liar.
As if he was dead.
For what? What is the point of this? You're not fucking explaining anything. Do not bring up the fucking fault. It would have been easier for you to just have it be, the dad died. The end. The dad died.
That's it.
And they had to move. They couldn't afford that place, so they sold that and bought the parent. Like, so much easier. Instead, you're vilifying this kid's dad, and it has nothing to do with the movie.
Nothing to do with the story.
Nothing. That's not even, later on, it's not even, like, the image of his father is the monster coming after him. His dad legitimately
has nothing to do
with this movie. So why the fuck are you bringing it up? Was your dad mean to you, director, sir? So this is your way of taking it out on him? Like, what is the fucking point of this? It doesn't make any fucking sense. Oh, I hate this movie. I hate this movie so much. She tells him that since the monster couldn't get to her because it was going after her, but then she ended up drowning in the lake, so the monster couldn't get her, that now it's coming for him because he came to the creek. So because he answered the call of the creek, he's next to die. She basically tells him that, like, it's been dormant all these years because since she died, nobody has really been to the creek and shit. But because he came...
It opened it all back up again. Yeah. It's so fucking dumb.
Because I'm like, if it kills kids, why are adults disappearing? If it can take or kill anyone, why are people still living over there perfectly fine until this kid moved into the neighborhood? You know what I mean? Like, there's a whole lot of this that's just not making sense. At this point, they run into Bill at the park and devise a plan to stop the monster, and we are now at 50 minutes into a 90-minute movie. In class the next day, the class seems to have the exact same amount of students as the first scene in the school, so this is only
so those kids aren't gone.
So it's like, is this only affecting people on a certain side of the creek? Like, is the town split by the creek?
But wouldn't those kids be involved in that portion of the creek itself?
Yeah, well, because I'm like, why wouldn't it go after Bill? All these years, like, why not? Like, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
While helping his mother wash and dry dishes, his mom promises not to open. He makes his mom promise not to open the door for trick-or-treaters. Just leave the bowl outside. He goes upstairs to get his costume. When he comes back down, his mother is gone, and he already knows that the monster took her. Has his mask on. He walks outside to meet up with Maggie, so Maggie can leave the creek. At his door, he's very monotone and very matter of fact. It took my mom. All right, let's go. It's like, all right, man.
They took my mom.
They meet up with Bill, and they notice Peter's pumpkin creepily carved. Bill asks if he carved
That
it
he
that
didn't
way,
make.
and Peter tells him no, it disappeared a couple of days ago. Maggie tells him that it's because the monster, it was the monster that did it, and that he's not happy Peter has help. The pumpkin lights up, and then they realize they're surrounded by pumpkins that all light up, and they run away. Running through a now vacant town, I guess, they come across other kids in costumes, and they begin to growl and chase Peter and crew. Maggie gets separated from the boys.
These aren't even normal human sounds.
Yep.
Continue.
Maggie gets separated from the boys and hides behind bushes by an AC unit. Why are they chasing her? She's a ghost.
She's a...
Disappeared.
Thank you! Thank you. Why is she should be...
She's sitting behind the bush, covering her mouth like she's trying to cover up her breathing. She's a ghost.
She should be trying to,
She
like,
doesn't
guide
have
them.
breath. Like, yeah.
She should be guiding them into where to, like, get away from them. Because she's also a ghost.
God, this fucking movie, man. The boys find her and they whisk her off to safety and run to the creek. Bill stops running and is just standing there. I thought at this point, like, maybe the monster got a hold of him, but no. Bill tells Peter and Maggie to hide behind a tree and he's gonna lead them away. That it's up to them to stop the monster. This monster still doesn't have a name.
And then on top of that, the dude goes, "Oh, well, how are you going to do this without... I'll run."
Yeah.
Run
That's
where?
it? That's it?
Yeah.
You're just gonna... Alright.
He's like, but you suck at running.
They continue through the woods and find some of Peter's mom's stuff when branches begin to attack Maggie in a non-rapey version of the Evil Dead. They end up in the monster's lair, which happens to be where Peter was in his dream. And right after saying they need to stick together, they're scared by something growling in the woods, and they run off, getting separated in the process. One of the mess monster kids attacks Maggie, and she fights them off and rips the mask off, revealing herself. I think. It's really hard to tell because it's super fucking dark.
It's so dark. Yes.
Peter finds Maggie and tells her that they have to get out of here, but she tells him there is no monster and that he has to stay away from her. Confused.
She's the monster.
Yeah, confused and in disbelief, Peter just stands there, and when they start to hear growling again, Maggie hurries him away. So which is it, Maggie? Stay away or keep close?
Stay with me or keep it. You just told me to stay away from... Oh my god.
Maggie believes since she died, her death caused all this stuff to happen. But Peter tells her that the things chasing her don't look like monsters. They look like trick-or-treaters. She's not scared of trick-or-treaters, but it admits he is. She's not scared of toys coming to life, but Bill is. She's not the cause of all of this. It just feeds off their fears. They realize they need to beat their fears, and they make it to the creek where she died. And Peter tells her that she needs to cross the creek to conquer her fears. She asks him not to let go as they cross the water, and he promises that he won't. They make it across, and the day is saved. They play in the sun one last time before she realizes it's her time to go home. How do you know it's all over? Did you go home to make sure that everyone is alive and well?
No, they just all fucking... They just all wake up in a field.
Yep.
Why the ghost vanishes? I don't know. Does she vanish? I didn't see her vanish.
She crosses over, and Peter begins running home and finds, I only counted 11 of the missing townspeople standing in this field. He spots Bill and waves to him and his neighbor, and then he spots his mom and runs to her. Bill knows what's up, but nobody else does. Now that it's All Saints Day, all's right in the world. Peter and Bill catch up with each other and figure out adults only see what they want to see, so they have no idea what had been happening. Bill asks about Maggie and tells him that she moved away, but Bill isn't stupid. He knows something was up with her and he wants to know. Peter doesn't tell him anything, which is stupid. He just tells him that he'll see him later because he has something to do. And then Peter goes to the creek. Alone. Again. Why didn't he take Bill with him?
Why wouldn't you just... Yeah.
Like, that's dumb.
Why wouldn't you just
stupid.
brought him already? It's not that big of a issue, you know?
Along the way, he could have explained this whole Maggie thing with him, but no. At the creek, he's talking to himself / Maggie when he's startled by a young girl creeping up behind him. She gives him the same line Maggie did, which freaks him out. She tells him she just moved to town, but that her family used to live here, but left when her aunt died as a kid.
That was her.
She tells him that it feels like she's been here before. He realizes...
Been here her whole life.
Peter realizes what's going on. This is Maggie's, like, niece. But doesn't say anything because he's being Peter a little bit too much. Now, if Bill was here, this is where fucking Blurty McBlurterson would have just fucking been like, your mom's sister's name was Maggie. And then They'd be like, oh, ha 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 ha, and then like whatever. But no, he decided to leave his best friend so that he can go to the creek and throw rocks at the water by himself. Not like skipping stones. He's just throwing rocks into the creek. Whatever, man. At some point, you know Bill is gonna be like, dude, where the fuck do you keep finding all these random girls?
All these random... Yes.
Peter just walks into the fucking woods and then comes out with a harem of women. Like, what is this? It doesn't make any
And he ain't got no riz.
No, not at all.
He ain't got no riz,
Not at all.
so...
He is super fucking awkward. Back at the creek, Lily tells Peter if... Lily asks Peter if he wants to play, and of course he does. She tells him he can help her find snails. And they run off into the woods, and that is finally the fucking end of Lost Creek.
A PG movie.
I don't even care that it's PG.
Terrible.
Because it could still be like fine. I want to go first with my final thoughts because I was very angry. This is legitimately the worst acting I've seen all season. All season.
Preach.
This is the only film this season that has taken me almost a month to finish watching. That's not me being like hyperbolic. It legitimately took me almost a month to watch. I started and stopped this movie 3 times. And every time I stopped at the 45-minute mark. That is the sign of a boring fucking movie.
The worst.
I thought it was just, I thought it was just me. The wife even did it. Did the same thing.
My
it's
wife
like, I'm
did
done. The acting is terrible. The dialogue is terrible. A lot of the sound design wasn't great.
Visually, it's fine.
The only redeeming thing was it looked good. That's legitimately the only thing. They had a good camera and lens. That was it. Because a lot of it seemed like it was taking place outside, so that's not even a fucking lighting kit. So they're just using natural lighting. No. So, I don't know. I feel like with the dialogue, the director was going for something like The Goonies or Monster Squad, or I'll even go newer with like Super 8 or Stranger Things, where the child actors were actually good actors, but instead we got the dollar store equivalent,
Oh, God, yeah.
And like I said, I don't want to be mean to these kids, but fucking hell.
I don't blame the kids. I don't blame the kids.
This was the best that the director
Adults
could get.
were supposed to be guiding them.
Like, they were all terrible. Not bad. Terrible. Half the time it looked like they were reading cue cards. If you go back, which I don't recommend.
I'm not going back. Fuck that.
But scenes where it's like an over-the-shoulder shot, it's like they were grabbing like Peter's coverage and everything, and he's supposed to be looking at Bill because he's having a conversation with Bill. This is Bill, right?
Yeah.
He's over here looking, and he's like, "Oh yeah, of course, yeah."
It's like they were told purposely don't look at certain spots.
I don't know if he's like taking stage direction and like a mom is like smile,
yeah,
or if they were cue cards. But it was
creepy.
It was fucking awful. It was awful.
It was creepy.
I don't want to shit on kids. Okay, here we go. Why do they spend so much time shitting on this kid's dad just to not explain any of the animosity they have?
Any of it? I don't even know the dad's name.
No, we know absolutely nothing. If his father doesn't matter to the story, there's no reason to keep fucking bringing him up. It would be like constantly bringing up that I hate cream cheese every chance I get, and not why I hate the cream cheese.
No context behind it.
Just that I hate it. It has absolutely nothing to do with anything. I hate cream cheese. Cream cheese is fucking disgusting.
You're terrible.
But yeah, it has absolutely nothing to do with anything. I'm not going to keep like bringing it up, but they keep doing it all the way up until like the movie ends. Who the fuck is this guy? You're going to tell me at the end of this film you're not gonna sit there and be like, what was the deal with the cream cheese? If I started this out and I was just like, man, I fucking hate cream cheese, and then we got halfway through and I was like, man, cream cheese kind of sucks, and then we get to the end, it's like, what the fuck was the deal with the cream cheese? Did they ever talk like, does he not like it on bagels? Does he not like it on in New York like cheesecake? Like what doesn't he like? It's just like, no, he just said he hates it. Doesn't explain why, just hates it. It's like, this is where we're at, because I'm sitting here at the end and I'm of all things, I'm angry about why they made it such a point to bring up like the reason why they had to move there, but like the most vague reasoning, just like because of your bleeping dad. And that's it. And then the kid brings up like, oh, I really loved him. He did all these great things. I didn't know dads could be liars, but I don't know what I'd do if
That
he died.
was so fucking
What
dumb.
does this even mean? What is the point of any of it? I hate this. Is a 1 out of 5 for me. What about you?
This is a 1. I won't even budge.
What are the things that you hate about it besides everything?
Everything. The fact that we had to go with Sixth Sense, Evil Dead with the fucking the vines grabbing them. A little bit of, I mean, I don't even, what was it? I think Bad Candy had little creepy trick-or-treaters or something.
Yeah.
They used all these way too many references. The acting did not make sense. These kids were not trained. Was these a bunch of kids you found in your neighborhood that you said, hey, I'm going to pay you and your parents to come be in a movie? Was this crowdfunded by some soccer moms with kids? Because it didn't make sense to me. These kids definitely need to like, because all of it was harsh to watch. And then the ending fucking sucked. The story sucked. I don't like the name Maggie.
I feel, yeah, no, they completely shit the bed on this. It's really bad. So Spooky Horror Show is giving this a solid 1 out of 5. Do not watch this film. Don't waste your time. It's just gonna make you fucking angry.
The box art is purely just the best of it. That's it. Nothing else.
Everything else is terrible about it. But next week we're gonna be watching 2019's Witches in the Woods, which I did kinda sort of enjoy. But that is gonna be next time. For now, remember
that was yours.
Yeah. This one was yours.
I told you, I looked at the box art, reminded me of Bad Candy. Bad Candy was fucking amazing. I was like, okay, maybe it's like Bad Candy. I didn't see that much candy. I saw like 3 pieces of candy in the whole entire fucking movie.
Like I said, that is it for this week. But this is probably not even going to go up till probably the first week of January. So I hope everyone had a happy holiday, happy New Year.
Have a good one.
It's
Be safe.
Hopefully, the next movie will be better. We only have 3 films left.
Oh.
We have Witches in the Woods, Night of the Killer Bears, and Return to Bloodfart Lake.
Return to Bloodfart Lake. Oh, yeah, okay.
But I do have some surprise episodes coming up soon that I will talk to Anthony about once this ends. But again, thank you everybody very much, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.